Chapter 31 The Secret of the Immortal Fall Era, Blood Sword, That Fool. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Don't sweat it. This isn't a battle we need to fight. Ancestor Chunyang refilled his tea, saying casually, you and Ao Hongchen had a normal rivalry. He just wasn't good enough, no fault of yours. Besides, Master Canling offed him in a rage. No matter how you slice it, that's on us. Honestly, I didn't expect Master Canling to come after you. Good thing my master's been keeping an eye on you, never letting his guard down. Otherwise, even I couldn't have stepped in fast enough. Tang Chen frowned. Master, weren't you secretly messing with the spiritual energy, making it look like Canling's real master was behind it? Ancestor Chunyang choked on his tea, he stared at Tang Chen, coughing theatrically. Whoa there, kiddo. That tea's hotter than I thought. And is there a draft in here? Whatever you just said. Didn't hear a word of it. Tang Chen chuckled at Ancestor Chunyang's awkwardness. With his sharp eyes, he'd immediately sensed something was fishy when Master Canling attacked. That's why Tang Chen was so calm back then. Someone had his back, so what was there to worry about? Play dumb when you know more than enough. You're just too good at your job, and you let me expose myself. Can't we both just pretend to be cool, Tang Chen thought, feeling relieved. Alright, let's get down to business. Ancestor Chunyang switched back to his serious face. Tang Chen sat up straight. No more messing around. Ancestor Chunyang had called him here for a reason. Now that you've reached the 10,000 Dermas realm and grasped all the Dermas in the world, there are some things I should tell you. Ancestor Chunyang's gaze sharpened. Ever heard of the Immortal Fall Era? Tang Chen nodded. He knew the story. Over 3,000 years ago, a sudden upheaval had rocked Xuanhuan star. The world turned upside down, mountains crumbled, and rivers changed course. Powerful immortals fell inexplicably, reduced to dust. Everything connected to immortals vanished with them. In a short time, immortals disappeared from Xuanhuan. For over 3,000 years, no one from Xuanhuan star had ascended, as if Zhangxian Xing was shackled, blocking the path to immortality. That's why they called it the Fairyland Era. People say everything connected to immortals was wiped out in the Immortal Fall Era. But if you think about it, isn't that a little strange? Ancestor Chunyang asked, a smile playing on his lips. Tang Chen paused, then said, the black mysterious immortal sword, the immortal Dao steel, Qilin blood, those are all tied to immortals, but they're still around. Tang Chen had always found it odd. Ancestor Chunyang's words made it even stranger. He'd come across several things clearly linked to immortals, and they still existed. Tang Chen even thought about the immortal soul goo insect. Master Tai had tried to use it to secretly control Tang Chen, but the immortal soul sanctuary had stopped him. The insect was made from the soul of a true immortal. That should count. Hearing Tang Chen's answer, Ancestor Chunyang nodded approvingly. You're right. These things are connected to immortals. But the world isn't wrong either. Strictly speaking, it's more like in this fallen era, everything related to immortals is gradually fading away. Tang Chen got it. It all came down to word choice. Changing 2 words changed everything. One more question. How strong do you think I am? Ancestor Chunyang asked. Tang Chen grimaced and shook his head. If he used his fiery eyes, he could see right through Ancestor Chunyang, but he wouldn't. Fire eyes revealed everything. Ancestor Chunyang was Tang Chen's master. He treated Tang Chen with care and affection, like family. Tang Chen wouldn't invade his family's privacy for no reason. Fine. Seeing that Tang Chen wouldn't answer, Chunyang rolled his eyes, then said wistfully, I entered Xianjian cave at 10, forged my body in 3 years, formed my spirit sea in 7, gathered souls in the palace in 10, and at 30, I married. The golden elixir can unite all kinds of magic for hundreds of years. As for the Master Realm and the Real Person Realm, it took more than 300 years to survive the tribulation and achieve the status of a saint. Tang Chen nodded along. Ancestor Chunyang could kill a real person with a single sword, so he was likely in the Saint Realm. Saints came in 3 classes, Little Saint, Saint, and Saint King. As an ancestor of Xianjian Cave, Chunyang Ancestor was probably at the Saint King level. In the following 1,000 years, I practiced hard, and one day I had a chance encounter, and finally became an immortal. Ancestor Chunyang's last words blew Tang Chen's mind. What the heck? Was Patriarch Chunyang a true immortal? Didn't they agree that 10,000 immortals would fall? Weren't there supposed to be no more immortals? What was he even doing? Tang Chen had hoped to use the system of all realms to break the shackles of the immortal fall era and become the #1 immortal in Xuanhuan. Dream crushed, these guys were just messing around. Wait, Tang Chen realized something and blurted out, Master, you said that during the immortal fall era, everything related to immortals is gradually fading away. So, are you fading away too? My clever disciple, as sharp as ever, Chunyang Patriarch's eyes lit up, and he nodded. To be precise, my immortal energy is dying out, that when the immortal fall era came, the immortals in Xianjian Cave fell one after another. Chunyang Patriarch had thought he would die too, but he had survived. Ever since, the immortal energy in his body had been draining, and his cultivation level had steadily dropped. Now, he was only at the level of a saint. The more I interact with the world, the faster the immortal energy drains. That's why I spend most of my time sleeping, to slow down the process. I only wake up briefly when something happens in Xianjian Cave. Looking back, more than 3,000 years have flown by. Time sure flies, Chunyang Patriarch sighed. Then why aren't you sleeping now? Tang Chen asked. He'd been in Xianjian Cave for over a month. Old Ancestor Chunyang showed no signs of sleeping. If I fall asleep, who will protect you? Old Ancestor Chunyang rolled his eyes. Rely on that fool Xuejian, the mountain gate of Xianjian Cave. The real person Xuejian, who was managing affairs, suddenly sneezed. Why do I feel like someone's talking about me? The real person Xuejian scratched his head, then glanced toward the attic and chuckled. The master's probably bragging about me to the little junior brother. As a senior, I have a lot to offer. He should try to be like me. Chapter 32, The Immortal Armor Gifted by the Chunyang Ancestor, Tang Chen's Letter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 32, Ancestor Chunyang's Immortal Armor and Tang Chen's Gratitude. Tang Chen was deeply moved by Ancestor Chunyang's words. His dedication to those who sought enlightenment was truly profound. Ancestor Chunyang was even willing to sacrifice his own cultivation to protect Tang Chen. It was incredibly touching. Master, I swear I'll break through the shackles of this immortal age and help you return to the realm of true immortals. Tang Chen vowed. Good, I'll be waiting for that day. Ancestor Chunyang chuckled, momentarily forgetting his usual complaints. You always know the right thing to say, unlike your other senior brothers. All they do is practice, practice, practice. You're at least willing to sit down and have a cup of tea with me. Shui Jian is alright, but his talent is just so. I'd be surprised if he ever even reached the level of a saint. Outside the entrance to Xianjian Cave, Master Xuejian sneezed. What's going on? Is Master talking about me again? He may only talk about junior brother every day, but I still hold a special place in his heart. Master, you old softy. Master Xuejian sighed contentedly. Poor senior brother blood sword, always getting chewed out. Tang Chen thought to himself, feeling sympathetic. Then he asked in surprise, how many senior brothers do I have? Ancestor Chunyang nodded. Besides blood sword, you have 4 more. They're all resting at the peak of Xian sword spirit. They all survived their tribulations and achieved sainthood. To allow you to focus on your cultivation, I've excused them from their sect duties and shielded them from all outside interference. You haven't met them yet, have you? Tang Chen's mouth twitched. Maybe some other time. Don't want to interrupt their practice. Tang Chen still vividly remembered the scene of Ancestor Chunyang opening the coffins. The thought of several mummy-like figures greeting him and inviting him for tea was unsettling. If Xianjian Cave is like this, are other sects also full of immortals? Tang Chen quickly changed the subject. That's the situation. Ancestor Chunyang shrugged. Even for me, going out costs a bit of cultivation. Tang Chen nodded, thinking of Xuanhuan Cave. Master Tai had tricked him once, and Tang Chen was still plotting his revenge. Now that he knew these secrets, he needed a plan. First, I'll grab that card and collect the rewards. Then, I'll figure out my next move. The reason I'm telling you all this is so you'll better understand the world of cultivation. Only by venturing out can you truly grow, Ancestor Chunyang said earnestly. I know Tang Chen thought. He desperately wanted to explore the Kunlun secret treasure. As a master, Ancestor Chunyang strongly supported this. Only by experiencing trials and tribulations could one advance on the path of spiritual practice. Remaining in Xian sword spirit, no matter how fast your cultivation was, would eventually lead to a plateau. With that, Ancestor Chunyang produced a suit of armor. It was silver white, covering the entire body from head to toe in sword-shaped scales. Each scale was etched with mysterious symbols, and a faint sound of sword chants could be heard. This is the immortal armor of 10,000 swords. It protected me throughout my life. Now, it's yours. Ancestor Chunyang waved his hand, and the armor landed in Tang Chen's hands. Master, isn't this a bit too much? Tang Chen exclaimed in shock. When you go out, a bit more protection is always helpful. Besides, I spend all my time in Xianjian Cave, this is of little use to me. There was a hint of sadness in Ancestor Chunyang's voice. This armor had been with him for over 4,000 years. It was like an old friend. He wouldn't part with it for just anyone. All immortals possess spirits. You awakened your sword heart, so you easily mastered the black mysterious immortal sword. This armor won't be so easy to win over. Remember to nurture it with care, Ancestor Chunyang cautioned. Then, he added, I've asked Blood Sword to get some Qilin blood. I'll send it to you when it's ready. And I'll have you deliver it to Ao Hongchen and real person Canling. Whatever they're willing to give you, just take it. Master Tsangling is relatively poor and doesn't have any holy weapons. Ao Hongchen's 2 holy weapons are quite good, a glove and a piece of inner armor. They'll be very helpful. Remember to take care of yourself. Ancestor Chunyang went on and on, like a father giving advice to his son. Tang Chen was moved to tears. Ancestor Chunyang was far too good to him. Compared to him, Master Xuejian was practically an orphan. Wait a minute. Am I picking on my senior brother again? Is this becoming a habit? Tang Chen quickly pushed the thought aside and asked, the holy blood Fong gloves and Baiming holy armor are sacred weapons. Is there a problem if we take them from the Wutu ancient kingdom? You kill all their people and take their stuff. Is that okay? Ancestor Chunyang rolled his eyes. Tang Chen was taken aback. That, actually makes sense. When I killed Ao Hongchen, it wasn't just for the Qilin blood. He would have held a grudge and sought revenge. Better to eliminate the threat. Anyway, the conflict was already a bit serious. I only thought about avoiding future trouble, not about the loot. Tang Chen felt like he needed to start taking notes. This was crucial knowledge. The Wutu ancient kingdom has been getting increasingly arrogant, even threatening to replace us in Dongtian. Their defeat this time was satisfying. Now I need to think of a way to use this situation to make them look even worse. Between powers, things can easily lead to a deadly battle. The most I can do is talk nonsense. Ancestor Chunyang knew this well, having lived for over 4,000 years. Master, want me to give it a shot? Tang Chen volunteered. You. Ancestor Chunyang was surprised. Then, he watched as Tang Chen sat down, carefully laid out the paper, positioned the paperweight, ground the ink, and picked up the pen. At first, Ancestor Chunyang frowned. How could a teenager understand the art of talking nonsense? But the more he watched, the more astonished he became. When Tang Chen finished writing, Ancestor Chunyang looked at the words and sighed from the bottom of his heart. Good disciple, you have such a talent. Master, seriously, this is just a traditional craft from my hometown, Tang Chen said modestly. Ancestor Chunyang was stunned again. What is this place? I've never heard of it, He decided not to ask any further questions and immediately had someone send the letter. I can just imagine the look on those gangsters' faces from the Wutu ancient kingdom when they read this. Ancestor Chunyang was filled with anticipation. Chapter 33, The ruler of Wutu vomits 3 liters of blood, and a great earthquake occurs in the EA. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 33, The king of Wu kingdom vomits blood, the eastern wasteland shakes. The ancient Wu kingdom and Xianjian cave were thousands of miles apart, but because Patriarch Chunyang had ordered that Tang Chen's letter be delivered with utmost speed, it arrived at the Wu royal palace in less than half a day. News of Ao Hongchen's death hadn't reached them yet. Inside the Golden Wan Hall, the king of Wu, adorned in yellow robes, eagerly snatched Tang Chen's letter. The envelope bore the Wu kingdom's royal seal. Patriarch Chunyang sent this? Could he be thinking of submitting? The king chuckled, tearing open the envelope and scanning the lengthy message. Suddenly, a furious roar erupted from his throat. The entire spirit of the ancient Wu kingdom felt the wave of destructive power, and the sky trembled as if the stars were about to fall. That voice, from the palace. What's angered the king so? People wondered. At that moment, the Wu kingdom's ministers and advisors, hearing the roar, rushed to the Golden One Hall. They found the king, face crimson and hands trembling, clutching the letter. He coughed, and a stream of hot blood spewed from his mouth. Your Majesty, the ministers paled in alarm. Then, they seized the letter and read its contents. To the king of the Wu kingdom, that I trust you're well. My master, in his infinite benevolence, has asked me to pen this letter on his behalf. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Tang Chen. Yes, the Tang Chen who awakened the innate chaotic body, formed a golden elixir in 10 days, conjured an immortal method with a thought, and understood all the laws of the world in a day. The Tang Chen that countless people see as a male immortal. It is with deep regret that I must inform you that by the time you read this, your kingdom's prized Kirin has been eliminated by my spiritual pet, and your beloved son, Ao Hongchen, is also deceased. I'm sure this saddens you. The Kirin's end was swift and painless. Ao Hongchen, however, had an audience of over 100,000 spectators when he kicked the bucket. He must have been thrilled, otherwise, his eyes wouldn't have been wide open at the end. Ao Hongchen's protector, Master Canling, attempted to avenge him, but my master intervened and dispatched him with a single stroke. As everyone knows, Xianjian Cave and the Wu Kingdom have close ties. This incident, therefore, is a little awkward. Still, my master has decided not to pursue this matter further. After all, you've lost a son. Kicking a guy when he's down just doesn't feel like the move. Oh, and the belongings of Ao Hongchen and Master Canling, including the Kirin Blood Fong holy gloves, and Baiming holy armor, will be taking those, along with the bodies. So, if you happen to see them down the road, just know that we've got them covered. Finally, I wish you many happy returns of this day. May your kingdom's fortunes decline swiftly. Signed, Tang Chen, the most beautiful man in Xuanhuan. The ministers were speechless. Then, roars of outrage filled the hall. That little punk. He kills and then wants a medal for it. This is outrageous. He must be brought to justice. He devoured our kingdom's sacred beast, murdered our prince, killed our esteemed guest, stole the Kirin blood and the sacred artifacts. Does Xianjian Cave think they can just walk all over us? Their blood boiled, and they felt like they could vomit 3 liters of blood. We need to tell the crown prince. He'll avenge us and kill Tang Chen. If we don't kill Tang Chen, our ancient kingdom will be a laughingstock for the whole world. Some ministers said angrily. No, the king of Wu, teeth clenched, said, Tianjiao is on the cusp of a breakthrough. I cannot allow this issue to distract him. He will become the leader of the young generation in the eastern wilderness after he refines the 9 drops of Kirin blood and completely controls the tyrant blood Taoist body. Only then will we have time to take our revenge. The higher he climbs, the harder he will fall. He and Xianjian Cave will pay for this, in blood. News of Tang Chen's killing of Ao Hongchen, witnessed by over 100,000 people, spread like wildfire from Xianjian Lingshan. The eastern wasteland was in an uproar. Many refused to believe it at first. How could the mighty Kirin prince, a once-in-a-generation talent, be bested and slain by Tang Chen. And even his protector. Before the shock could wear off, even bigger news hit. After reading Tang Chen's letter, the king of Wu vomited 3 liters of blood. A tremor became an earthquake, shaking the entire eastern wasteland. This kid, he's terrifying. Investigate. I want to know everything about that day and the contents of that letter. He's only had the innate chaotic body for a little over a month, and he's already accomplished so much. Is he going to shatter the limits of the immortal era in one go? I thought it would take him a while to get his feet under him. But no, he's hitting his peak right out of the gate. With him, Xianjian Cave is going to become a major power to be reckoned with. Before Ao Hongchen's arrival at Xianjian Lingshan, people had dismissed Tang Chen's feats as exaggerations. Now, no one doubted anything. The name Tang Chen was on everyone's lips. Ao Hongchen is dead. Tang Chen, how dare you kill my best friend in public? I'll never forget this. A young man in blood-red armor, his face determined, gritted his teeth, staring in the direction of Xianjian Lingshan. At Taiyin Lingshan, a graceful woman in white robes and a veil was carefully studying Tang Chen's background. She put down the letter, and a touch of darkness flickered in her eyes as she burned the letter to ash. Is it possible that such a man is heaven-sent? Perhaps I should seek him out. At Chi Yaoling Mountain, a voluptuous woman in revealing clothes, red ropes tied around her ankles, sat by a pond, her white jade feet stirring the water. The waves rippled through the pond and across her chest. The most beautiful man in Xuanhuan. Is that just hype, or is he really that good-looking? Too bad my master didn't pursue him. Still, now I have one more junior brother to ride. Meanwhile, at Qianquan Lingshan, Taiyi Zhenren sat in the leader's seat in the attic, surrounded by elders of Qianquan Cave. They debated Tang Chen. Each spoke passionately, voicing their opinions. Headmaster, what are your thoughts on this? One of the elders asked Master Taiyi solemnly. Taiyi Zhenren smiled, unfazed. You're wrong. I am very satisfied. The others were stunned. Only a few trusted elders understood Master Taiyi's meaning and smiled. Chapter 34, the Chunyang Patriarch fell silent, and the Kunlun secret treasure is about to be opened. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Besides the major caves, all the big players in the eastern wasteland were buzzing about Tang Chen. He'd become the guy everyone wanted to beat, the rival in their heads. In this immortal era, everyone's chasing that top spot, wanting to be the ultimate immortal in Xuanhuan. Now that Tang Chen's a big name, these other geniuses aren't about to take it lying down. They're itching for a showdown. Meanwhile, Tang Chen himself was holed up in Xianling Dao Palace, grinding away. Ao Hongchen's Qilin blood had been drained. The Blood Saint gloves and Beiming Saint armor were delivered to Xianling Dao Palace, plus a ton of other training stuff, piled up like a small mountain, making Yi Qingrou's jaw drop. So, yeah, Tang Chen was swamped. He was juggling the 10,000 swords immortal armor and those 2 holy weapons, plus trying to refine all those training resources. He barely had time to breathe. About a month later, Ancestor Chunyang showed up at Xianling Dao Palace. Heard my star pupil hasn't left Xianling Dao Palace in a month. Never seen him like this. Could getting the 10,000 swords immortal armor up to snuff really be that tough? Well, makes sense. The Wanjian Xinjia's been with me for 4+ years, switching owners is bound to cause some friction. Gotta help my disciple out. After all, he's not just working on the 10,000 sword immortal armor, he's got those 2 sacred weapons to deal with and his own training. Can't let one thing throw him off track. Ancestor Chunyang muttered to himself. He was starting to second-guess himself a bit. If he'd known Tang Chen was so driven, he wouldn't have piled on the pressure. Good thing it's only been a month, not too late to fix things. Boom! Ancestor Chunyang was about to step into Xianling Dao Palace when a blast of sword light shot straight up, tearing through the clouds. No warning. Up close, it was made up of thousands of sword lights. 1 second, it was a dragon, the next a phoenix, shifting on a dime, making the air itself tremble. Then, poof, gone. Like it never happened. It was over in a flash. Most of the Shenzhen Dongtian crew, even the elders and top brass, didn't even notice, but Patriarch Chunyang saw it all. Clear as day, he froze, mouth hanging open, eyes glazed over, looking totally blown away. Master, why didn't you say you were coming? Tang Chen strolled out of Xianling Dao Palace. He was rocking the 10,000 swords immortal armor and the Biming holy armor, with the blood saint fist gloves on his hands. Sword light flickered around him, mixed with dim light and blood-red glows. Every move sent sparks flying, like some immortal warrior, bloodied but unbowed, packing 8 swords. Ancestor Chunyang stared at Tang Chen, blank. Finally, he stammered, You've already fully synced with the 10,000 swords immortal armor and the 2 holy weapons. Sorry to disappoint, Master. Tang Chen scratched his head, looking sheepish. Raising the 10,000 swords immortal armor and those sacred weapons was kind of a drag, so I used some of that time for my own training. That's why it took me so long to bond with them. As for my cultivation, I hit the 9th level of 10,000 dermas yesterday. Tang Chen wasn't bragging, he already understood all the rules of the game. If he went all in on training, he'd reach the unity stage in no time. No need for a month. Bonding with the immortal armor of 10,000 swords and those 2 holy weapons was just plain boring. Couldn't keep my head in the game, plus, I had to play with Tunten, and Yi Qingru. Multitasking really slowed things down. Right. Ancestor Chunyang went silent, all those worries he had just now. They flashed through his head, one by one, each one making his heart pound harder. He was starting to get lightheaded, almost couldn't stand up. Master, you okay? Tang Chen asked. Ancestor Chunyang glanced at Tang Chen, still silent. He turned and walked away, looking like he'd aged 10 years. So, an old tool that's been around for 4+ years can't handle being replaced by a younger, more talented model after just a month. Great, disciple. You've got 0 social skills. Why even bother? In your downtime, shouldn't you be enjoying a few more tunes and yelling at the blood sword? The more Ancestor Chunyang thought about it, the more it made sense. He pulled out his sound transmission jade slip and muttered, Shuajian, get to my place, stat. I need to discuss something. Meanwhile, Tang Chen saw Ancestor Chunyang leaving and wisely kept his mouth shut. He took a deep breath and fired up his daily lottery. Ding. Congrats. You win a 2-star prize, Snow Spirit Ginseng. Tang Chen tossed the ginseng into his world without even looking at it. He'd just refined another mysterious sword immortal and burned through a ton of training resources. Low-level spirits like this couldn't help with the Dharma at all, so they were basically leftovers for Tun and Yi Qingru. Tunten had hit the returning realm a few days ago. Yi Qingru had made a small jump, too, reaching the 8th level of 10,000 arts and aiming for the 9th. Maybe I should find something to do in my free time, Tang Chen said, sounding serious, but after thinking about it, he realized he was drawing a blank. Here in Shenzhen Cave Heaven, the guys were all fanboys, and the girls were fangirls, and the elders were running the fan club. No more trash talk, no more playing dumb to trick people. It was all gone. Vanished. Is this the life of a time traveler? So boring and predictable. I almost miss Ao Hongchen. Tang Chen sighed softly. Just then, a booming voice rang out outside the Xianling Taoist palace. Jian Wushuang requests an audience with the junior master. Come on in, Tang Chen said casually. Jian Wushuang practically sprinted inside, looking respectful. He'd become a Tang Chen fanboy, too. If he wasn't a Taoist disciple, he'd have already asked to transfer to Xianling Taoist Palace and become Tang Chen's sword bearer. What's up? Tang Chen asked, looking at Jian Wushuang. Reporting, Junior Master. Qingzhou had a strange phenomenon yesterday. Word is, a huge mountain range was floating in the sky, appearing and disappearing, with fairy music playing, like a fairy mountain. If I had to guess, it's gotta be connected to Kunlun's secret treasure. I reckon that Kunlun's secret treasure will open up in 7 days, tops. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath, trying to hide his excitement, but failing. Chapter 35, The Disappearance of the Saint of Taiyin and the Mysterious Guardian. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Months back, the Kunlun secret realm surfaced. Driven by the chance, Jian Wushuang repeatedly visited Qingzhou, going to great lengths to acquire an ancient Kunlun artifact, with no news about the secret realm during that time, Jian Wushuang was about to give up, but now, finally, news has arrived. Naturally, he was excited. If you hadn't mentioned it, I'd almost forgotten about it, Tang Chen said, his eyes lighting up. His special check-in location was the Kunlun secret realm. Successful check-in meant a shot at a lucky draw. Plus, Tang Chen suspected the secret realm was linked to Kunlun Mountain. Combined with Jian Wushuang's description, he was even more convinced, and finally, Tang Chen was getting bored at Xianjian Lingshan. This was the perfect opportunity to get out and see the sights of the eastern wilderness. Go get ready. We're leaving ASAP, Tang Chen told Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang nodded. Master, Brother Qin, Brother Gu, and Sister Lu would like to join us on this trip to the Kunlun secret realm. What do you think? Tang Chen's presence was extraordinary. Jian Wushuang and the others wanted to be close to him. Now that they finally had this chance, they weren't going to waste it. Treasures and adventures in the secret realm were secondary, simply being near Tang Chen was enough. Sure, the more, the merrier, Tang Chen said casually. Thank you, Master. Jian Wushuang was overjoyed, bowing repeatedly. Soon, word of the upcoming opening of the Kunlun secret realm spread across the eastern wilderness. The true Immortal's legacy was a huge deal in the eastern wilderness. The treasures of a true Immortal were so enticing, even the 6 major strongholds could hardly resist. Especially since this true Immortal had attempted to transcend the heavenly tribulation, making him a top-tier Immortal. Instantly, countless forces stirred. Droves of geniuses and prodigies headed for Qingzhou. A massive storm was brewing. Taiyin Lingshan, in a simple courtyard, a maid in green, carrying a basin of water, knocked softly on a door. She knocked several times, but received no response. Pushing the door open, she found the room empty. Moments later, chaos erupted in Taiyin Lingshan. The Taiyin Saintess, the apple of the Taiyin sect's eye, had vanished without a trace. Wutu ancient kingdom, in a towering palace. Father, I not only obtained the Kunlun mirror, but I also discovered a secret about the Kunlun Immortal. He's connected to Kunlun Mountain from ancient times. His prized immortal artifact, the Kunlun mirror, was taken from Kunlun Mountain. For the Kunlun mirror and these Kunlun Mountain clues, I have to go to Qingzhou. The speaker was a young man, handsome and tall. He wore black and gold armor, combat boots, and a blood-red cloak, exuding majesty. His name was Ao Jiuxiao, the 3rd prince of Wu Tuesday. And the figure before him was the Lord of Wu Tuesday. A month had passed since Ao Hongchen's death. The Lord of Wu Tu had emerged from his grief, but his face was aged, with graying hair. Since you're set on going, I won't stop you. The Lord of Wu Tu nodded, then warned, but Qingzhou is close to Xianjian Grotto Heaven, and Tang Chen is likely heading to the Kunlun secret realm. Be careful when you encounter him. Father, don't worry. I've reached the Grandmaster realm. I'm confident I can kill him. Ao Jiuxiao was full of confidence. Ao Jiuxiao wasn't as naturally talented as Ao Hongchen, but Ao Jiuxiao had been tempered on the frontier since childhood, facing death countless times. His cultivation and combat experience far surpassed Ao Hongchen. In his eyes, Ao Hongchen lost because he underestimated his opponent and lacked training. Tang Chen might be talented, but his actual strength couldn't be that great. How strong could someone who'd only trained for months, without facing true hardship, be? Don't underestimate him. The Lord of Wu Tu's tone was stern. Ao Jiuxiao trembled, kneeling. I was wrong. Please, calm down, father. Secretly, Ao Jiuxiao disagreed. He thought the Lord of Wu Tu was overreacting because of one setback. My 7th brother's death hit father hard. If I kill Tang Chen, I'll cripple Xianjian Grotto Heaven and earn father's favor. If I please him, he might give me some drops of Qilin blood. Ao Jiuxiao clenched his fists, his eyes gleamed. Xianjian Lingshan, in a remote valley, there was a dilapidated thatched hut, seemingly abandoned. What do you want? A hoarse voice came from the hut. The Chunyang Patriarch stood outside. He smiled. I have a new disciple, Tang Chen. He's going out for training. I want you to protect him. Are you willing? No time. The hoarse voice refused instantly. The Chunyang Patriarch didn't mind, still smiling. My disciple has a chaotic body and is a natural sword cultivator. He formed a golden elixir, created immortal techniques with a thought, and understood all the laws of the world in one day. Now he wants all laws to return to one. The hoarse voice interrupted. That's his problem, not mine. I'm busy. Goodbye. That the hoarse voice was practically expelling him. The Chunyang Patriarch remained calm. After a pause, he said, he's been recognized by the Black Xian Immortal Sword. Silence fell. The hoarse voice sounded again. When does he leave? Tomorrow morning. The Chunyang Patriarch finally smiled, turning and leaving the valley. Whoosh. A breeze passed. The valley was even quieter, only a faint sigh echoed between heaven and earth. Chapter 36 Arrived at Yangwu City. Auntie, who are you? You are listening at novelfull.audio. The opening of the Kunlun secret treasure was creating a real buzz. Light trails blazed across the sky, spiritual birds, chariots, and flying boats packed with people all streamed towards Qingzhou. Did you hear? That wild card Yangqing, the terror from bloody cave heaven, is heading into the Kunlun secret treasure. He's not the only one. Ao Xiao, the third prince of the Wu Tu Empire, Yi Rushue from Yao Qi Cave Heaven, Yan Chu from Feiyu Sect, and a ton of other top talents are already on their way to Qingzhou. Honestly, it's less about the secret treasure and more like a proving ground for all these big shots. The rest of us are just here for the show. Watching the streaks of light overhead, most people just sighed. Even so, they still headed to Qingzhou, hoping for a lucky break in the Kunlun secret treasure. Meanwhile, at Shenzhen Lingshan, Tang Chen, after making his preparations, was ready to go. This was his first time venturing beyond Shenzhen Lingshan. He gazed at the vast landscape, watching the flashing light streak by. Even though he'd anticipated this moment, a feeling of exhilaration surged through him. This wasn't just a treasure hunt, it was a journey into the real world. Once he stepped outside Shenzhen Lingshan, Tang Chen would find himself in the full-blown cultivation world of the East Wilderness. There would be powerful figures and countless opportunities, intrigue and betrayal, where the strong devoured the weak. It was like starting a whole new chapter of cultivation. Good disciple, said the Chunyang Patriarch, inside this mustard seed bag, besides all sorts of healing elixirs, you'll find 3 air-breaking sword talismans. Activate one, and it'll instantly teleport you away. Enough to get you out of trouble. While this trip to the Kunlun secret treasure is a training ground for young geniuses, we can't rule out some old geezers trying to pull a fast one. If someone targets you, remember their face. No matter who it is, your master will settle the score. The Chunyang Patriarch handed over a mustard seed bag, repeating his warnings. Disciple understands, Tang Chen replied, accepting the bag. What I just said is for emergencies. Normally, if an old-timer tries to mess with you, or you're in a bind, the guardian I've arranged will clear the path. You can focus on finding opportunities, the Chunyang Patriarch added. Guardian? Tang Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. He looked around, but couldn't spot any hidden figures, not even a hint of their presence. This person has a strange personality, but they are absolutely trustworthy. Don't doubt them. The Chunyang Patriarch patted Tang Chen's shoulder, reminding him a third time, after the Ao Hongchen incident, your reputation has skyrocketed, everyone in the East Wilderness knows your name. But that also means some people are looking to tear you down to climb up. If it's some old fogies, your guardian will deal with them. But if it's one of these young prodigies, you'll have to handle it yourself. Master, don't worry. If any of these guys come for me, I'll take them down, one by one. I won't let Shenzhen Cave Heaven lose face, Tang Chen said with a reassuring look. Good. Then your master will be waiting for your triumphant return. The Chunyang Patriarch laughed, his eyes shining with relief. He had been worried Tang Chen might be timid stepping out into the world. Hearing those words put his mind at ease. Soon, Tang Chen, Yi Qingru, and the others boarded the skycrossing spirit boat together. The skycrossing spirit boat was massive. From a distance, it looked like a palace floating in the sky. The entire boat was covered in formations, a dense and intricate network. Not only was it incredibly fast, capable of traveling tens of thousands of miles in a day, but it could also withstand all sorts of natural disasters. Even if a true master attacked, it would be difficult to break through quickly. making it extremely safe. "Let's go," with a shout from the blood-sword real person, the sky-crossing spirit boat soared into the sky, reaching an altitude of 30,000 feet, a beam of light shot out from the boat. In the blink of an eye, the sky-crossing spirit boat vanished in a cloud of dust. There are 108 provinces in the East Wilderness, Qingzhou is one of them. The Kunlun secret treasure appeared in the southern part of Qingzhou. In Yangwu City, as a result, Yangwu City was bursting with activity. Geniuses from major factions and powerful independent cultivators from across the East Wilderness were everywhere. A mixed bag of good and bad had gathered, and so it goes. It's worth mentioning that the East Wilderness is vast, and the number of factions is like grains of sand on a beach. Besides human cultivators, there are also demon and beast cultivators, especially the latter, but compared to humans, demon and beast cultivators are rare, seldom seen in everyday life. Whoosh, 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 at this moment. Above Yangwu City, a group of people in black and white Taoist robes were arriving from all directions, gathering outside the city gate. People immediately recognized them as being from Yuha sect. Leading them was the head of the Yuha sect, Yun Shao real person. Yuha sect, Qingzhou's dominant force, sent this many people to Yangwu City. They're determined to get their hands on the Kunlun secret treasure. Maybe. Look how they're all grouped together, like they're waiting for someone. Who's so important that a real person would wait this long? Even some of the Cave Heaven disciples didn't get this kind of treatment. That the crowd was buzzing with speculation. More and more people gathered to watch, curious about what was happening. About 15 minutes later, a huge flying boat appeared in the sky. On top of the flying boat, a flag flapped in the wind, a long sword was emblazoned on it. The Xianjian flag. It's the Xianjian Cave Heaven team. No wonder the entire Yuha sect came out, even the headmaster. They were waiting for the Xianjian Cave Heaven people. The crowd finally understood. Qingzhou and Xianjian Cave Heaven are neighbors, very close to each other. Yuha sect, as Qingzhou's leading power, maintains close ties with Xianjian Cave Heaven. In a way, Yuha sect is like a subsidiary force of Xianjian Cave Heaven. Now that the Xianjian Cave Heaven team has arrived in Yangwu City, Yuha sect, as the host, had to welcome them. I heard the junior master from Xianjian Cave Heaven is on this trip. I wonder if it's true. They say this kid is handsome as an immortal, even Ao Hongchen can't compare. Some are calling him the most beautiful man in the Xuanhuan realm. Looks aside, the kid has unbelievable talent. A lot of people think he'll break through the restraints of this era and become the first immortal in the Xuanhuan realm. That even though this was Tang Chen's first time out in the world, his reputation had already spread across the entire East Wilderness. So, when the crowd saw Xianjian Cave Heaven's flying boat, they immediately thought of Tang Chen. Everyone stared, their eyes filled with anticipation, at the gate of Yangwu City. In a discreet corner, a middle-aged woman, plain-looking and blending into the crowd, also raised her head, staring at the enormous flying boat. Tang Chen, Tang Chen. To see you, I risked running away from home and turned down Wu Mozi's invitation. I hope you're worth it. That the people nearby overheard the middle-aged woman's mutterings. They were stunned, then gave the middle-aged woman incredulous looks. Lady, who are you? Running away from home at your age? Turning down an invitation from Chinsa real person Wu Mozi? You're out of your mind. Chapter 37 I am very satisfied, the head of the Yi family wants to see you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a while, the sky-crossing spirit boat finally touched down. Qin Wusha, Jian Wushuang, and the other disciples of the way stepped off first, lining up in unspoken agreement. Then, Yi Qingru pulled back the curtain, and Tang Chen stepped out, cool and collected. He was dressed in robes whiter than snow, and his long black hair danced in the breeze, making him look both free-spirited and charming. His white jade face held features as delicate as a child's, but it was his deep, playful black eyes that truly captivated, drawing people in. As Tang Chen slowly descended the ramp, a subtle, almost invisible light enveloped him. The very essence of the Tao swirled around him. He stood there, a child of destiny, bathed in the bright, clear light of day. Perfect, utterly perfect. How can someone be so beautiful? If this is a dream, please don't let me wake up. I want to stay lost in his splendor forever. Miss, your nose is bleeding. Quick, someone catch me. I think I'm going to faint. That the moment Tang Chen appeared, Yangwu city went wild, female cultivators dropped like flies, collapsing in droves, their eyes burned as they stared at him, afraid to blink, as if he might vanish into thin air, and it wasn't just the women. Even many of the male cultivators were stunned silent. Normally, they'd be green with envy at a scene like this, but not this time. There's an old saying, familiarity breeds contempt, and another, distance lends enchantment to the view. In this case, the latter applied. Tang Chen's looks, talent, status, charisma, he simply outshone them in every way. They weren't even in the same league. Even if they wanted to be jealous, they couldn't find the energy. Near the city gate, an ordinary older woman was also taken aback by Tang Chen's looks and presence, stopping dead in her tracks. This person is truly otherworldly, that the thought flashed through her mind, and she had no doubt about it. Auntie, you've seen him now. Satisfied, a man beside her asked quietly, amusement in his voice. He'd obviously overheard her remark. Very satisfied, yes. She replied, nodding emphatically. Her words drew laughter from those around them. The aunt was being so silly. If you didn't know better, you'd think she was here for a blind date, but the woman ignored everyone else. She turned and quickly disappeared into the crowd. At the very same moment, Xuanhuan, with a group from the Yuha sect, greeted them respectfully. We've heard tales of young friend Tang's unparalleled talent. Seeing him in person today confirms it all. As he spoke, Xuanhuan glanced at Qin Wuxia and the others, secretly impressed. As an ally of Xianjian Cave, he knew Qin Wuxia and the others well. Now, these 5 elite disciples stood behind Tang Chen, respectful as could be, like loyal bodyguards. Xuanhuan couldn't help but marvel at Tang Chen's abilities, managing to so easily win over these elite disciples. Senior, you're too kind. Tang Chen smiled and bowed in return. Travel can be tiring. We've prepared a banquet and accommodations. Please, follow me. Master Yunxiao glanced at Tang Chen, then at his disciples. His every word and gesture was carefully considered. Under Master Yunxiao's guidance, Tang Chen and his group entered Yangwu city. Everywhere they went, gasps of amazement and wonder followed, and quite a few female cultivators fainted on the roadside, faces flushed, overcome with excitement. Elsewhere in Yangwu city, in a courtyard, Ao Xiao, clad in shining armor, seemed to sense something and glanced towards the entrance. Across from him sat a young man, legs crossed. The man had strong features and a sharp, proud air about him, like a peerless overlord. His blood-red armor was marred with deep cracks, silently telling tales of countless battles fought for survival. This man was Yang Qing, one of the Blood Battle Cave's top disciples. They called him the Blood Battle Overlord. Judging by the commotion, Tang Chen must have arrived, Ao Xiao said calmly, turning away from the entrance. I'll kill him right now and avenge Brother Hong Chen. Yang Qing's eyes flashed with murderous intent. He reached for his spear, ready to rush out. Hold on, Brother Yang. Ao Xiao quickly stopped him, saying, Master Yunxiao, the head of the Yuha sect, has been waiting to greet Tang Chen. He'll be with him every step of the way. If you just barge in, you'll only be stopped, and humiliated in the process. We're in Qingzhou, after all. The Yuha sect is the host. If the host wants to protect their guests, why make trouble for yourself? Ao Xiao deliberately emphasized the last point, adopting a helpless tone. Tang Chen's a guest, so what are we? Chopped liver. Yang Qing's anger burned even hotter. The killing intent in his eyes was almost palpable. Seeing this, Ao Xiao was secretly pleased, but his face remained sympathetic. Brother Yang, some things are best left unsaid. Besides, we came to Yangwu city for the opportunities it offers, not to kill people and stir up trouble. Clang! Before Ao Xiao could finish, Yang Qing kicked the wooden table over, sending the tea set crashing to the floor. Ao Xiao, you might be afraid of Tang Chen, but I'm not. I didn't come to Yangwu city for any opportunities or treasures. I have only one goal, to avenge Brother Hong Chen. Tang Chen's life is mine, and no one can stop me. With that, Yang Qing stormed out of the courtyard. Watching Yang Qing's angry departure, Ao Xiao smiled coldly. The Blood Battle Cave is so easy to manipulate. Just a few words, and the feud is set in stone. On this trip to Kunlun's secret treasure, let them fight it out for a while, and then I'll swoop in and steal the prize. The residence arranged by Master Yunxiao was located in the heart of Yangwu city. It was more than just a mansion. Its size and decor rivaled those of a royal palace, exuding noble style in every detail. After the banquet, Tang Chen was petting Tun, equally full, lay quietly in Tang Chen's arms, lazy and content, man and beast, at peace with the world. Yi Qingru watched the scene, a small smile gracing her lips. Yi Xianren, at that moment, a young servant in green knocked on the door and handed Yi Qingru a letter. She opened it and her expression changed instantly. Junior Master, something's come up. I need to leave for a while. Yi Qingru bowed to Tang Chen. Go on, Tang Chen said casually. Yi Qingru nodded and slipped out of the courtyard. Tap. Not long after Yi Qingru left, the young servant in green knocked again. Tang Xianren, someone outside the courtyard is asking to see you. He claims to be the head of the Yi family in Yingzhou. The third update for the day, with 3 more to come. Chapter 38. You are my bastard, you are full of nonsense. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Qingru found herself in an alley. An old man with white hair was waiting there. What do you want? Yi Qingru asked, her voice cold. What, now that you're cozy with Uncle Xianjian Dongtian, you've forgotten about the Yi family's eldest elder? The old man said with a smirk. Yi Qingru frowned, saying nothing. He was the eldest elder of the Yi family, the man who oversaw her childhood. It wasn't a happy memory, more like a tragedy. Seeing her silence, the eldest elder spoke. Because of Ao Hongchen's death, the Wutu kingdom is furious. It's bad news for our family. I must say, breaking that engagement was a boneheaded move. However, you can use this as an opportunity to latch on to Uncle Xianjian Dongtian. If we play our cards right, this could benefit the Yi family. After some discussion, we've decided to let your little outburst about leaving the Yi family slide. But you need to work your magic with Xianjian Cave Sky and get more resources for the family. Yi Qingru sneered. What's so funny? The eldest elder frowned. I'm laughing at how clueless you are. Yi Qingru looked down at him, her voice dripping with ice. First, I'm with Uncle because I admire and respect him, not for profit. Second, when I said I was leaving the Yi family, I meant it. From now on, I'm done with you all. Third, what you just said is enough reason for me to draw my sword. Buzz, the Xianbing holy sword on her waist hummed, instantly freezing the alley. Even the air seemed to crackle with frost. You. The eldest elder flew into a rage, pointing a trembling finger. Your mother's ashes are still in the Yi family's ancestral tomb. I'll collect them myself after the Kunlun secret treasure trip. Yi Qingru cut him off. My mother wouldn't be caught dead in such a filthy place. Ding. The eldest elder's heart hammered in his chest, choking with anger. Fine, great. He spat, recovering his composure. He looked at Yi Qingru, his voice dripping with sarcasm. You've grown a spine, haven't you? Luckily, the head of the family took precautions and went to see Uncle Xianjian Dongtian beforehand. His silver tongue should have charmed him. Yi Qingru paled. Meanwhile, Yi Qingfeng, guided by a servant, slowly entered a loft. Yi Qingfeng greets Uncle. He shouted, dropping to his knees before Tang Chen. You're Qingrou's father. Tang Chen raised his eyebrows. Technically, that makes us peers. There's no need for such formalities. Yi Qingfeng stayed put. Uncle, no one in the eastern wasteland can compare to your charisma. The moment I saw you, I was filled with admiration. I wouldn't dare to call you a peer. I hope you won't be offended. Very well. Tang Chen nodded. Yi Qingfeng raised his head and said, Uncle, I came here today to ask you to protect Qingru, to ensure her safety as she cultivates and make sure she's not in danger. What do you mean by that? Tang Chen asked, his voice rising. Yi Qingfeng smiled inwardly. The hook was set. On the surface, he remained emotional. Uncle must know that Ao Hongchen and Qingru were engaged. She broke the engagement to protect the Yi family. She's a cold-hearted but good-natured girl. She may not appear to be close to the Yi family, but she cares deeply about them. Taking on the marriage contract and joining Xianjian Dongtian was all for the good of the family. For years, I've allowed Qingru to suffer in silence to protect the Yi family. But now I understand that Qingru is my daughter, my flesh and blood. So I beg you, uncle, protect her. Don't let her suffer the Wutu kingdom's revenge. For this, I'm willing to let the Yi family become Xianjian Dongtian's secret agents, lurking in Wutu country, and help bring about its destruction. Tears streamed down Yi Qingfeng's face as he spoke. He trembled with excitement, his head pressed against the ground like a pilgrim. I understand. Tang Chen stood up and helped Yi Qingfeng to his feet. Yi Qingfeng wiped his face and grasped Tang Chen's hand, acting excited and fearful. He's falling for it, Yi Qingfeng thought. Now I'll prove myself as a loving father and use the secret agent angle to get closer to Xianjian Dongtian. Then, I'll go to the Wutu kingdom and tell them the same thing. When these two sides fight, I'll pick the winning side. And when one falls, I can take all the credit. A perfect plan formed in Yi Qingfeng's mind. He saw countless resources and wealth, flashing before his eyes. He only had to reach out and grab them. At that moment, Yi Qingru burst into the room. The sight before her made her heart sink. You're too late. She thought, Yi Qingfeng's going to twist the truth and make it seem like I'm in the wrong. Regret washed over her. She'd fallen for a simple trick, being lured away from the real threat. Behind her, the eldest elder of the Yi family followed with a smug grin. Qingru, you're back, Yi Qingfeng said with a smile. Let your father take a good look at you. He started towards Yi Qingru, wearing a look of fatherly pride. Anyone would see him as the loving father. Get away from me. Yi Qingru snapped. She turned to Tang Chen. Master, the truth is. You don't need to say anything, Tang Chen smiled. I know everything. Yi Qingru deflated. Yi Qingfeng smirked at the eldest elder, fighting back laughter. But they couldn't get ahead of themselves. Just as they were about to leave, Tang Chen spoke. Qingru, I finally understand why you want to leave the Yi family. These people are so awful to be around. If you have a problem with him, tell me about it. You're mine now, and I'll stand by you no matter what. Chapter 39 Cooperating with your performance, domineering Tang Chen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The booming voice echoed, leaving Yi Qingru, Yi Qingfeng, and the Yi family elder frozen, struggling to process what had just happened. Master, what exactly do you mean by that? Yi Qingfeng finally stammered, looking at Tang Chen, his mind reeling. What was going on? This was completely different from what he'd expected. Are you having trouble understanding the word bastard, or is the whole sentence too complicated? Tang Chen asked, a smirk playing on his lips. Yi Qingfeng's face twitched. Forcing a smile, he said, Uncle Master, you weren't like this before. Before? Tang Chen raised an eyebrow, chuckling. I just saw you were putting on a show, so I played along. How was it? Pretty convincing performance, right? Tang Chen, a seasoned observer of human interaction, had seen through Yi Qingfeng's act from the start. He'd decided to have some fun, never expecting Yi Qingfeng to actually fall for it. Are you making fun of me? Realization dawned on Yi Qingfeng, and a flicker of anger crossed his face. You bet I am. Got a problem with that? Tang Chen said casually. He was the master of Xianjian Dongtian, while Yi Qingfeng was just a family head in Yangwu. What was wrong with Tang Chen messing with him? Yi Qingru, on the other hand, stared at Tang Chen, her eyes filled with a grateful shimmer. She was relieved that Tang Chen hadn't been fooled. At the same time, she felt ashamed for doubting him. How could she have imagined that someone as remarkable as her master would be swayed by a charlatan? She was so touched. "You're my man, even if the sky falls, I'll help you hold it up." That sentence resonated deeply, rekindling a sense of security and reliance within her. "Tang Chen, even if you're from Xianjian Dongtian, you can't be so arrogant. Aren't you afraid of looking like a fool?" The Yi family elder, unable to stand it any longer, tried to suppress Tang Chen's authority. But the moment the words left his mouth, the entire building shook violently. "Who do you think you are to interrupt me?" As Tang Chen finished speaking, a massive pillar of energy descended from the sky, locking onto the elder, boom, star, the world trembled. The viewing garden in front of the building vanished, replaced by a massive crater with cracked spiderwebbing outwards. The commotion instantly drew countless eyes. The disturbance came from the Xianjian Dongtian residence. Someone must have attacked. The word spread like wildfire, electrifying Yangwu city. Xianjian Dongtian was one of the major powers. Who would dare cause trouble in their territory? Who had that kind of nerve? "Look, that's Tang Chen." The crowd surged forward, immediately spotting Tang Chen. He stood in the air, surrounded by swirling spiritual energy, his expression radiating dominance. It was clear the earth-shattering event had been his doing. In the crater below, Yi Qingfeng stood dumbfounded, his face twitching. The Yi family elder lay nearby, his limbs shattered, clinging to life by a thread. "Qingru, have you decided what you want to do?" Tang Chen retracted his spiritual power, turning to Yi Qingru with a gentle gaze. Lost in his divine presence, Yi Qingru's heart fluttered. She quickly regained her composure, her eyes turning to Yi Qingfeng, a hint of hesitation in her expression. "Senior sister Yi." Jian Wuxuang, seeing the scene, immediately understood. She started to offer advice, but was stopped by Qin Wuxia, who gestured for silence. Yi Qingru still hesitated, when she suddenly heard Tang Chen say, "Remember what I told you? It's all up to you." Her eyes sharpened, she looked at Tang Chen, took a deep breath, and finally declared, "He's not fit to be a cultivator." Tang Chen smiled faintly. "So be it." Boom, star, Yun Xiao Zhenren unleashed a surge of spiritual energy, forming a colossal palm. The palm descended, striking Yi Qingfeng's body and shattering his Dantian core. "No!" Yi Qingfeng screamed. With his Dantian destroyed, his cultivation was gone. It was a fate worse than death. Yi Qingru winced at the sight of Yi Qingfeng's suffering. But then, Tang Chen's warm hand gently rested on her shoulder, offering encouragement. She took another deep breath and continued, "For years, you've used me as a pawn, playing Xianjian Dongtian against Wugua ancient country. I won't pursue that, consider it repayment for giving me life. From now on, Yi Qingru is no longer a member of the Yi family. Her mother's ashes will be removed from the family tomb." As she spoke, Yi Qingru's long-held burden lifted. Tears welled up in her eyes. "You did great." Tang Chen pulled her into a warm embrace, offering a comforting shoulder to cry on. He then turned his gaze to Yi Qingfeng, who lay like a mangy dog. "Master Yi, the Kunlun secret treasure is about to open. I don't want Qingru involved, so I'm giving you 2 days. Make sure you get Qingru's mother's ashes to her. If you're late, I'll wipe out the Yi family. If you try any tricks, I'll wipe out the Yi family. If you ever try to use Qingru again, I'll wipe out the Yi family. Do you understand?" Tang Chen glared down at Yi Qingfeng as if he was a piece of trash. His words were sharp and commanding. Having witnessed Tang Chen's power firsthand, Yi Qingfeng didn't dare to try anything. He was filled with regret. He should never have provoked Tang Chen in the first place. This guy wasn't some newbie. He was more seasoned than even the most hardened veterans. "Don't cry, you'll ruin your makeup." Tang Chen pulled back and gently wiped away Yi Qingru's tears, a tender smile melting her heart. The surrounding female cultivators swooned. Chapter 40, Enchanting Big Waves, Natural Beauty Taoist Body. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The news that Tang Chen whacked Yi Qingru's family member spread like wildfire through Yangwu city. Now, strictly speaking, this was small potatoes, it was really just a family squabble blown way out of proportion, ending with Yi Qingru finally cutting ties with the Yi clan, but Tang Chen waiting in changed everything. Yi Qingru was the star disciple of Xianjian Grotto, and she was Tang Chen's personal sword servant. Tang Chen standing up for her, laying the smackdown on her behalf, the whole thing oozed this mix of power and tenderness that hit all the right notes for women. Suddenly, Tang Chen was every female cultivator's dream man. Cheers and swooning could be heard everywhere. It wasn't just the women either. Plenty of guys were high-fiving Tang Chen too. Let's be real, what man doesn't dig that kind of passion? Tang Chen righting the wrong done to Yi Qingru, putting the fear of God into the Yi family. He nailed it from every angle, of course. Where there's praise for Tang Chen, you can bet there's someone with a hidden agenda. Tang Chen, you've got protection in Yangwu city. Fine, I can't touch you here. But once you step into the Kunlun secret vault, we'll see how you squirm. Yang Qin meticulously wiped down his black spear, his eyes burning with malice. The more hype there is around Tang Chen, the easier it is to sick others on him. I'll let the cannon fodder soften him up before I even lift a finger. Ao Jiuxiao chuckled, his mind already spinning with schemes. This Tang Chen is going to be interesting. The Kunlun secret vault trip shouldn't be a bore. Yan Buku sat in meditation, looking forward to the action. Beyond these top dogs, even the freelancers were keeping a close eye on Tang Chen. They had two reasons for heading to the Kunlun secret vault: adventure, sure. But also, making a name for themselves, and what better way to fast-track your reputation than by knocking the current champ off his pedestal? Right now, that was Tang Chen. Back at the house, Tang Chen was fiddling with the Kunlun key, core fragment from the Kunlun secret vault, currently damaged. If it's damaged, that means someone else has one too. And they probably know more than I do. Tang Chen frowned in thought. Earlier that evening, a bizarre phenomenon lit up the sky over Yangwu city. Mirage. In the image, Tang Chen glimpsed an enormous, imposing mountain range that dwarfed anything in the eastern wilderness. Even Xianjian Lingshan didn't compare. The moment he saw it, Tang Chen felt a faint resonance from the Kunlun key. Faint, but definitely there. These last few days have confirmed it. The Kunlun secret vault is somehow connected to the Kunlun Immortal Mountain. Whatever. One step at a time. No use overthinking it. After some mental gymnastics, Tang Chen decided to let it go. Judging by the intensity of the mirage, the Kunlun secret vault would be open within days. Then, all the pieces would fall into place. Junior Master, Yi Rushue from Yaoqi Grotto wants to see you. Yi Qingru's voice came from outside the door. After what happened earlier, Yi Qingru was acting different around Tang Chen. She couldn't quite meet his eyes. Whenever they did, her heart would pound, and she'd find it hard to breathe. She knew she probably had a crush on Tang Chen, but she also knew she wasn't good enough for him. If Tang Chen was the moon, she was just a firefly. A firefly could never compare to the moon, so, she decided to keep her feelings locked away deep inside. Just being near him was enough. Yi Rushue. Tang Chen knew a little about the rising stars from the big factions. Yi Rushue was a disciple of Baihua Zhenren, head of Yaoqi Grotto. While she wasn't necessarily the most gifted, she was definitely the most talked about. Send her in, Tang Chen said. A moment later, Yi Rushue, in a dress as red as blood, sashayed into the house, and I mean sashayed. The dress barely contained her, and she had these red ribbons tied around her ankles that swayed with every step. Add in her looks, and she was basically a walking fantasy. No wonder she's famous. Tang Chen took one look and got it. When you're young, your reputation isn't always about skill and talent. Sometimes, if you're packing enough heat, you can make waves too, and she was definitely packing. Little master, why are you staring at me like that? Yi Rushue purred. As she spoke, she took a few steps closer, casually folding her arms and creating a serious spectacle. Sister Yi, it's late. If you've got something to say, just say it, Yi Qingru said, unable to take it anymore. Afraid I'm gonna steal your junior master. Yi Rushue shot Yi Qingru a look, then let her eyes linger on her chest. Yi Qingru bristled. Was she implying what Yi Qingru thought she was implying? Was she mocking her? Yi Qingru might be obsessed with swords, but she was still a woman, and like men, women have their insecurities. Yi Rushua had just hit one of hers. Seeing that Yi Qingru was about to blow, Tang Chen finally spoke up. Miss Yi, what brings you here so late? Hearing this, Yi Rushua gave Yi Qingru a smug look, like she'd just won something, but before she could answer, Tang Chen added, please suppress your Tianmei Dao body before you speak, so we can actually have a conversation. Click, something in Yi Rushua's eyes changed. She looked at Tang Chen, not with flirtation, but with shock. She did have the Tianmei Dao body. It allowed her to passively emit a seductive aura that could lower people's defenses and even turn them into slaves. Her countless admirers were all thanks to the Tianmei body. However, the Tianmei body was a closely guarded secret, known only to the top brass at Yaoqi Grotto. How did Tang Chen know about it? The author said, that's the update. It's a bit tiring talking about the truth. This is the first time to write so much. If you brothers are happy to read it, give it a 5-star rating.